It's Havy. Welcome to Morning Pages with Havlin Rose. This is my second channel. My first channel is at Havy Speaks, where I talk about movies and television shows and their political and social impact on us all. I have a Substack where I talk about similar things, some more personal essays that is at Havy Speaks or the Rosemary Diaries. And then I have Letterbox at Havy Speaks, where I kind of make funny comments. It's really a hit or miss for my letterbox comments whether they're good or not. Okay. Um Today I hate myself. I'm just kidding. No, I don't. But I do feel like I am a flop today, and it's because I haven't created in a little bit. It was just the 4th of July weekend. And even though I don't like America, I love being crunk and I love being crunk with my friends, okay? And I was having a good weekend and just trying to be I don't know, like celebrate something. I haven't seen one of my friends in a minute, and I was just like, I'm just gonna eat barbecue. But then like a little voice in my head was like, bitch, you're not locked in though. You wanted to create a short film this summer, right? You haven't written poetry in a minute, right? You want to be an artist, right? Where's the artists at? Where are they at? Where's the creation at? You talk all this shit about how you want to do this, that, and the third with your career, and you're not doing it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna let myself have the weekend. I'm gonna be big chillin', and then come Monday, I'm gonna lock the fuck in. I'm gonna get that short film hot and ready for myself so I can apply to grants, all this, that, and the third, right? And then it came Monday. Nothing of the sort happened. In fact, I just did more of the things that I did over the weekend. So that was crazy. And now it's Tuesday, and I woke up at 3 p.m. Yeah, that's my life right now. And I was just like, the day I also have blackout curtains in my room, so I was setting myself up anyway. But yeah, I was just like, where is she at? Where is the artist at? I don't understand. Why am I slacking? And then I was like, why am I this stressed out for a job I don't even have? Okay. I want to get my career going. I want to get this artist shit popping off. But like, babes, okay? You'll be fine if you wait another day creating or playing pretend. You know, and I feel like I just be feeling guilty. And I realize that I judge myself a lot when I don't create enough because I be seeing, oh, you have to create more than you consume. Whoop de whoop. You have to do this, that, and the third. You have to make sure that you're not just letting your life slip away with not making art. It's a necessity, whatever, whatever, right? And I agree with that. You should create things. It's natural. It's human to want to create and use your imagination. That's how our brains freaking work, babe. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I'm just like dumbfounded that I found a way to make that toxic. In fact, I see a lot of people doing that actually, being like, you're not creating enough, you're not doing this enough. And it's weird because I'll see people being like, you're not supposed to optimize your life, but you should optimize this part of your life, or you should do this, that, and the third in a certain way, or you shouldn't do that in a certain way, da da da. It's all this contradiction that's happening, and it's like, it makes sense because these aren't the same people who are making the same videos, unless sometimes they are. My voice is raspy today. I'm sorry. I was getting drunk. But yeah, I just feel like I constantly am hearing. I need to get off the internet, but I'm constantly hearing like, this is wrong. This is the wrong way to be an artist. You're not being an ethical artist enough. You're not using your tools enough. Whatever, whatever. And I have somehow metabolized that shit and making it seem like I'm doing something wrong. Or when I wake up, that I'm not, if I'm not going straight to art, if I'm not going straight to my journal, or if I'm not straight to eating breakfast or making tea or whatever, I'm not being, I don't have enough skills about being an artist, or being someone who takes care of their well-being, or all these that things. And I'm just like, I have to realize that disappointment and shame has really no place in creation. And something that I've been dealing with for the past couple years. I went to art school, I went to art college for a little bit, and then I also had like art as my career pathway. I'm a writer. I was dabbling in photography. I went to film school. I do all these things that I think and I have a lot of work that I'm proud of, right? But when it gets to like, the witching hour when I'm by myself, at one point I'd be like, damn, I need help. I genuinely feel like I don't know what I'm doing with my career. And it sucks because, yeah, I want to be a filmmaker and I consider myself to be a filmmaker now. Do I be making films? It seems it's what you consider a film or not. But yeah, I be trying to do all these things and making sure that I'm locked into my craft. But then I always feel like it's that capitalist brain worm we all have, where I'm like, well, you're not creating on a certain schedule. You're not creating at a certain level or capacity, or this like you're not sacrificing enough for your whatever, whatever. And I'm like, well, the shitty part is bad economy, right? Bad economy. I don't work in art for my job, or for how I make money in real life. Um, but I be looking at my options, right, for filmmaking, and it'd be like, you can either work a job you don't like, a 9 to 5 you don't like, and then have art as a hobby, or that you can have, like, you can be an art teacher and then maybe not feel fulfilled in your actual, uh, the capacity that you're making art in, or you can go to Hollywood where all the creeps and people who like little kids are in. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what type of options are these? And I actually have a video on my main channel about plastic surgery in Hollywood. And there's just aspects about that video that talks about how, like, Hollywood at the end of the day is a business and it's an industry, and how there's a lot of things that are about businesses that don't function as well when it's crossed with art, which is, in my opinion, is antithetical to art. Capitalism, it feels like that's something that stops art creation all the time. I know for myself, I can't call myself a recovering perfectionist because, baby, I'm in the thick of it right now. But I'm trying to get out, and I always feel like I'm somehow still behind, or I'm somehow doing this thing wrong. And I woke up late today and I was just like, damn, like I'm wasting another day of my life not being in the stew. I'm not in the studio. What the freak am I doing? But then I was like, actually, bitch, shut up. I just need to stop saying that to myself. Actually, if we're talking about self improvement, but I genuinely do feel like I there's just no need for me to be upset with myself. I'm taking it too far. You know what I'm saying? Guilt and shame and anger, they're all things that you can incorporate into your art, and those all are things you can alchemize into, a good piece of media that feels satisfying to you. Not exactly good in like a technical way, but there's all these emotions that you can use, of course. But I need to make sure that that isn't the thing that's fueling my art craft. I don't want to be like, oh, well, so you're a dumb bitch whore, so that's why you have to keep making art. Whoa. How about no? How about those feelings can translate into an art piece, but it doesn't have to be the reason why I create art. You feel me? I don't want to make art in a way where I'm punishing myself or I'm not doing things enough. It's more from a place where it's like I have sometimes no way to express myself other than writing a poem or other than making a YouTube video or crafting a script. You know what I'm saying? There's certain ways I can communicate that only exist in the language of art, even though my art is in the English language. Um, but yeah, I just feel like I have to stop being mean to myself. And I've gotten really good at it. I've gotten really good. I say better, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just feel like every single time I catch myself being negative, and baby, I could be negative. I'm really good at that. Talk about some art skills. But I could be negative, but I'm really getting good at like nipping it in the bud and being like, it ain't even that serious. You can create when you want to. At the end of the day, you're not a machine, right? Clock it. I feel like everyone has gotten to that moment where like I'm not a machine. I'm just a person who makes art sometimes or all the time, you know? And I feel like I constantly confuse like, punishment with passion, and that I should be doing something a certain way, or I should be hitting the marks in a certain way, or I'm not a good enough artist. And not only am I not a good enough artist, or it's specifically like I am not going to be good enough as an artist so that I can make money off of it and live off the thing that I want to do. I want to play pretend. I want to be able to do all these things, like being a a dork and writing things and playing things. I want to do all those things for a living. But for some reason, these motherfuckers be making it so hostile in this bitch. They be gatekeeping and stuff. I be like, there's just no reason why playing pretend is this serious. Why is Hollywood so exclusive? The flip? Anyway, but in the art world in general, why is it so exclusive to be a painter? Why are these systems based off exclusion, not inclusion? It's playing pretend. It's using your fingers to paint. Why is it even that deep? Why can't we just all get healthcare and shit? Don't even get me on the healthcare train, okay? Me talking about myself. Anyway, but yeah, I just don't want it to be like shame is attached to every facet of my life, including the thing that I find the most precious is my art and my connection to myself, because, those things have to work together. But yeah, like, I just want to say, like, if you woke up late today. Anyway, sorry about that. Um, yeah, but yeah, I forgot I was talking about. um, no, but legitimately, I just don't want to create anymore in a way that is punitive, or everyone makes art. I be looking at art on online and being like, I know this bitch cried over this for 3 hours at one point, and that's just a part of the game, So yeah, create things in a way that makes you feel like you're tapping into the best parts of you, not in a way where it's like I have to exclude all of these, parts of myself that is negative, but in a way where it's like I'm using my gifts and talents as a way to connect to myself and connect to others. So yeah, stop being a little bitch about it, basically. Yeah. Okay. Well, talk to you later, babes. See ya. Bye.